Hey, welcome everyone. Just wanted to open up this time as an AMA Ask Me Anything. Thanks for joining. I'm just going to run through just a basic overview and slides and maybe go through examples. Right now we're in the Rapyd developer community. We've been building this over the past couple years and it's been growing. Now we have about, in our discourse forum, about over 50,000 developers. And yeah, just amazing community of developers focused on fintech, but really building the world's financial ecosystem. And so let me go ahead and move to the next slide. There we go. And so I just wanted to open up with what are payments? It's and really understanding payments helps grow businesses. And so we used to think of really payments as a cost. Businesses had to pay transaction fees to do business online. But now, with the rise of APIs in fintech as a service, really everything has changed. So payments are now a way to grow your revenue, grow your business just with one integration. One API call that can be easily added. And that means, for more businesses, it means more payment methods where they can accept, cross-border especially. This is where it's can be so crucial in growth. And that's what we're seeing now. We'll share, over the course of this year, more and more stories of businesses growing because of API integrations, and developers are absolutely essential to that. And so let me head again to the next slide. And so I wanted to break down just this evolution of payments of fintech. And so first, before the internet, you had obviously, just in person, a lot of brick and mortar, cash register, and then kind of going into POS, the point of sale, which also needed internet connection. When we all experience when that was down, they are accepting currently cash only, or to maybe hold your credit card information until that gets backed up. But then we started making purchases online. The infrastructure started to move towards the cloud, and then of course mobility. We see even on certain days like maybe Black Friday, or just growing audience of more mobile purchases and more apps, more mobile friendly websites. And of course now mobile is leading in so many areas with payments. And then the next phase we're believing, where we really see, is Rapyd. Now you think, okay, is Rapyd the center of the world? No, we're not saying that, but really Rapyd is an idea. It's really this idea of fintech as a service. It's this idea of the whole payment infrastructure just being surrounded, and the idea of embedded finance coming along businesses to create multiple services and with all-in-one integration, all-in-one API. And we can see that here, just a breakdown of Rapyd services. And so with a single point of integration, and this is really our mission, we say, to liberate global commerce. And we have our different platforms here. We have Rapyd Collect, of course, that is accepting payments for anyone building integration or working with Rapyd. Rapyd Disperse, being able to pay out to anyone or contractors, workers, and build that integration. Rapyd Wallet, which is really the secret sauce of being able to hold funds and build your own infrastructure on top of Rapyd, where you could start to build that fintech and be a part of the fintech ecosystem. And then, of course, Rapyd Issuing, where we can issue certain cards, also virtual accounts, which is definitely a new feature that a lot of businesses are jumping on. And of course, within these platforms include a lot of sub-services or microservices. Identity verification, compliance services, which is huge to be able to get started quickly without having to do it all yourself. Settlement and reconciliation, and of course FX support. And then we have all of our bank transfers, e-wallets, all the different payment methods around the world. And of course, I didn't want to forget this. We do have plugins where you can integrate with Shopify, you could integrate with WooCommerce and get started even quicker, even as a developer, if you are helping out different small businesses or different online shops. And so really we call this the Rapyd Global Payments Network, encompassing really everything that a business could need for their payments. And of course, this is so essential to include the global dev community. Let me actually turn on my camera. Awesome. There we go. Welcome, guys. And so one thing I did want to mention is we do have our open API coming soon. So that's going to be really cool for developers to utilize. And if you have any questions, again, feel free to chime in. And so here, really, it's the action is to, if you haven't yet, I know some of us have, is to open up an account in Client Portal, grab your sandbox keys, and start working. You can join the Rapyd community and come alongside over 1,000 developers, and feel free to ask anything here in Discord, or also our discourse community.rapyd.net. So what is really FinTech? You can say like, okay, you just open up a shop, open up something that you're building. What is that? Well, we wanted to break down here different sectors of FinTech that Rapyd is really honing in on and focusing in on, and who Rapyd serves. And so the first would be lending and financing. If you want to build an app that is that allows that, we just do see Rapyd serve one of our just number one sectors is finance, of course. A lot of money movement, and then insurance tech, market and exchanges. This is pretty wide. Actually, this is huge. So anything gig economy we see now because of the pandemic, now because of the growth of just creative services and individuals building their own business on YouTube, on just really anything, building their own audience. We see now a greater gig economy and marketplaces for creative artists to be able to build their content and take in payments. Of course, financial management for the individual, someone who is basically has their own platform to manage their own finances for their businesses, as well as personal. Of course, general payments and transfers between businesses, between people. There's retail banking. And then a huge one is supply chain logistics. That is, we see that growing, more companies being able to step up and not just, build their network and infrastructure, but partner with existing, supply chain companies and, focusing in on a niche, whether it's, we see so much kind of food delivery, where they're really like the short end of the what we call like final delivery or maybe a last mile delivery to the customer. But with every product, this has so many stages, so many opportunities for B2B and then for B2C supply chain. And so this is just a quote by someone, a story that has worked with Rapyd, been impacted. Just a startup in it's in APAC region, Singapore, China, and they say today everything is just an integration away, an API call away. The infrastructure is there, and so they were able to start up and build this and start accepting payments. And right now they're really honing in on FX of cross border and being able to expand and grow. And so really, this is kind of super simplified as a recipe to make money from software. First, you want to find a service that provides something, clients do on a high frequency. And so I personally, I've seen this more and more and more recently as coaching, even, the master class. We see so much of that. If you jump on Facebook, you're bound, or Instagram, you're bound to start to get some ads for any type of coaching class or master class, or someone really wanting to be able to, again, provide something to their clients or to someone who is willing to learn a special skill that they have. Now, they need to accept payments. And so, but they, through offering their class, through offering their training, they build, which is number two, they build their users, collect their data, collect information, collect leads, start to set appointments, and then really they need to take in payments. And so what are the platforms that are going to allow them to do that, and where and what context, and how can they make that easier for their clients, but also, as they start to build users, build an infrastructure around their users, and build their wallets and any credit that the users have, and they can build even payments, bank transfers, empowering their users. That it could start to become just a class or just a master class into training and equipping people to go out and do their business, but then you're empowering them with a payment infrastructure, that you can build this ecosystem around them. And then finally, engage users in a repetitive model, cross sell, upsell, and this is really the idea of, as you build your fintech, as you build, whatever app, you start to add more and more and more. It's like Uber started out as just, one type of driver, a private driving company, and it would be a high class, kind of marketed as a upscale driver driving you, but then it started to do, group rides or ride shares, where it's multiple people, and then they have now so many different options for if you need a ride right now, or if you could wait like 15 minutes, it'll be cheaper. And then now they do food, and so they're starting to build that larger infrastructure in repetitive model themselves. And again, so I wanted to go back to, hey, if the time is to test now and take action. So again, you can grab your API keys on the Rapyd docs. Download Postman and start testing right away. And join the Rapyd community. If you have any questions, it's at community.rapyd.net. All right. So if you go to docs.rapyd.net, and then go to first API call here. You can download our Postman, and you can run it, on web or here I have a Mac. But the first example, let's see. And so let me just jump into today. We're gonna just create a payment with FX, and then also create a checkout page with FX. So the difference with these is if you're creating a payment, you would need, for all of these, you do need to build out your application or your website. That is PCI certified, which means you need to go to the website for the PCI certification in handling all credit card information, and be able to meet all the standards, with compliance. It's really important that security for your customers is put as a priority. And so if you are working with the API, we do know in our documentation that you would be handling customer information. Of course, this is saved and tokenized with the API, but again, this is probably maybe for bigger startups, or definitely if you plan to use the API direct integration, without the checkout page, being able to meet PCI certification, any requirements is absolutely essential. And so here we have just really the request body, have all the headers filled out for you in Postman. And I'm working in Sandbox with the environment. Here I have all my API keys put in input from client portal. If you watch one of the videos on where you download the Postman collection, you can follow that, and it'll show you how to grab your API keys. And so here we have the amount, the currency, requested currency, and then fixed side by kind of where the currency exchange is going to take place. And then the expiration date. This is in Unix code. This will be the e-wallet that I'll go to. I could delete this and it'll just go to the client, but you could designate, kind of as we were sharing, the Rapyd wallet ecosystem, where you could dump funds into that and start building. Here we have payment fees. You could add this as gross, or I believe net. Gross will add it onto the payment itself. So concert fees always have added fees for customers that would make that purchase. If it's net, it would subtract from the merchant. So anyone who you're integrating for, or if you are the business, it would minus from that, or subtract from that. And then here's an FX fee that would be added onto the currency exchange that you could charge. And here is a Singapore payment method with any required fields for that. And you could get the required fields by going to this, and I see that is here. And then so we see the two that is present, and then we'll see it is required, it is true. And then if you wanted to see all the payment methods for country, this step would actually come first. Would be list payment method by country, and then country is Singapore, and then so we would find that down here. Oh, that went away. Okay, yeah, and so right now that we see the payment method is is a Singapore payment method. So the customer is actually going to pay. The customer here is paying in the requested currency, and then what actually I would be receiving is the business would be in U.S. dollars. So this would be someone in the U.S. Selling to someone in Singapore, or at least someone's paying with Singaporean payment method. And so I'll go ahead and send that. And so that went through. It's successful. And we see here the payment ID. You can always refer back to that through this. The amount is, including, any fees, any, payment fees, FX fees, plus the currency exchange. And so this is what would show on the page. So this is the Singapore dollar. The payment method was a bank redirect. We see that down there. And then, we could see the more information on the fees and the FX rate down here. We can always grab FX rates through get daily rate, and so we see 717, and then 717 5097, and so that is an example of creating a payment with FX. Again, you would need to meet PCI certification for this. Now, if you didn't have anything and you were really just a developer, not just developer, but wanting to build something out of nothing and maybe a small team, you could go to here. You could create this checkout page, and that would build. We do have a embedded integration for this, but here you could build this out and be able to create a checkout page. That works, and basically this will create a payment like this, but it's a checkout page that meets PCI certification. So all you need to do is integrate this with and show the link, pass the link to your customer, and so don't have any fees included for this, but just an amount, country currency, payment method, expiration of the page. This is again fixed side buy, and they're actually requesting Mexican pesos, so I can go ahead and send that. Let me see. I think it's gonna show something. Okay, let me change windows. I think I can. Okay, now I have the screen showing. So I just clicked on this link and it went here. And so here we could see just the basic checkout page with card info. Here is what the client will receive. So if you're a business, it's showing that. But this is what the customer will see. So the client will receive the 400 euros, but the customer is now paying in Mexican pesos. And so I'm just going to put in some credit card information. And I'll pay that. and then it'll go through, and then it'll redirect to whatever page that you have. And so that's pretty much an example of what it looks like to create a page with FX. If you didn't have that PCI certification, which is a lot of us. And so this layout is, you can customize the colors. Rapyd is always adding and, assessing the data that it's continuously improving as customers use this. But this is also, if you were to use some of the plugins with like Shopify or anything, this is the checkout page that would appear, and your customers would pay through that. Of course, you could see here it's has that PCI DSS secure stamp on it, and so that's kind of what it looks like to create those two payments. I do have another request that I was going to go through. I know have been seeing a lot of requests about creating a wallet, and seeing some inquiries, questions about that, about people getting errors. So I was going to go through that, but wanted to take a pause and stop at this time. Does anyone have any questions or anything? Anything you feel like you want to ask? If not, no worries. We can keep going and sharing. Does Rapyd work in Nigeria? And so you can find out if Rapyd is in any of the countries. We have some in our documentation. Let's see. Looks like it's not listed on there. Let me go to client portal. Yeah. Oh, cool. I can just pull this up here. And so here's our client portal. We also have, let's see. We also have on our Get Started page, we can find a list of supported countries. So this is if you wanted to just get started into integrating with Rapyd. This is where you would, get started. I do see Nigeria is not on there. I know Rapyd is actually starting to integrate into a few countries in Africa. I know it, and so I'm not sure if Nigeria is one of them, but we'll certainly release that on our community forum. And they're working with some big companies that are accepting payments. What language is the Rapyd APIs built on? Yeah, that's thanks for asking. That's a really good question. Actually, let me turn on one of the slides that I could share. I actually should have shared that slide with you. Cool. I can move this. And so let's see, refresh this page. That's the examples. So here is, the Rapyd stack. So really it's, it didn't take much. It's built on AWS, and then, uses as for the database, MongoDB and MySQL. And then front end is React, and, back end is just Node.js. Definitely started out as super scrappy. And do you use Express in Node.js? That's a good question. I'll have to ask one of the developers. Let's see if they're on. I'll send them a message. But yeah, thanks for asking, Ku. That's some really good questions. Rapyd just really started as a basic payments app, but then started to pivot and grow. Your full stack JavaScript engineer. That's awesome. And yeah, we'll keep you updated and on more developments in. I know for sure that I believe that we are opening up in some countries in Africa, and so if I'm not sure I know the FIntech climate is absolutely booming, but as more countries do FX, we may kind of roll out into different countries if there. So API monitoring. Yeah, Rapyd is on a promise to guarantee 99.99% uptime. I know that's everyone's goal and striving for, but I can't think of the last time where I got an email that was down. Usually it is regarding to any client portal upgrades. But yeah, it's we actually have a lot more data of now this year, like everyone using specific API calls and just being able to pull more of that data that's useful. At least for hey, who's doing what and what we can maybe deprecate or let go of, and really prioritizing what people are using more and more. And so yeah, that's a good note, Ku. We'll be sure to test that out, or include that actually for next presentation. One thing that we do want to do is kind of share some of the stories of different companies or different fintechs focusing in on some of these verticals, but also do you know if you're using off-the-shelf solution or for monitoring, or just in-house solutions? So the monitoring would be the data that we are actually pulling. I believe it is in-house. As far as just monitoring the uptime, it might be an API integration that we're using from someone. I can also get back to that. Make sure to include that as well. These are really good questions. No, this is good. More questions are better, so I can go back to some of our devs and actually include them on here next time, as well as knowing what to include for the future. This is great. Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like there's so many people at Rapyd that are I feel like their voices just need to be heard, and experts. And so I would love to bring them on, and yeah, love to chat. So cool. So yeah, couple. I did a few, couple questions on Postman. I can run through the Create Wallet. Feel free to can you type in questions as you have them. Kelvin, nice. My name's Kyle. I guess I didn't introduce myself. But yeah, thanks for being here. Love to have you guys. Any plans for rapid FinTech community integration with blockchain tech in the future? And so, yeah, there's something called, that's a good question. There's something called Rapyd Ventures. Let me see if I could pull it up. Yeah, there's a Rapyd Ventures. We launched this about maybe a little over a year ago, or maybe longer. And so we started to invest in basically different companies that would be promising for partnerships, and really, if you guys start to create something really impressive, Rapyd Ventures is definitely a possibility. You could start to inquire and pitch your idea. And so as that came up, a few different companies popped up, and one of them was I have to jump on the Rapyd Twitter to kind of capture who it was, but they announced investing into for a potential future partnership with blockchain tech. It's on the Twitter. If you go a little bit down, I can probably bookmark it somewhere. But anyways, the question is yes, Hacknarak. Definitely. That is in the horizon. I've heard it being discussed with people. The thing right now is with FinTech, that is basically just it's almost an emerging tool where it's not, I guess I would say for payments, it's, you don't see a lot of people using that for payments, like for these verticals right here. I would go to here. So you don't see blockchain payments happening around here, but we know it's being built. We know it's growing. And so right now, what is the main bulk of the money movement and financial movement is a lot of these payment methods. Different regions have different, but we know, you can't ignore blockchain. And so blockchain is almost this, like, it's so valuable. People see the value in it. It's there's also still like mixed opinions, but right now it's not going to be the main thing that's going to make money, but absolutely for the future, as things continue to grow, right now it's really pretty much used for investments, and then we did see that spike and rise in NFTs and crypto transactions are rising, but regulations have been tightened in different countries too. Yeah, and I think there's almost that middle ground where, it's maybe this free market and free range to go ahead and tread forth, but then kind of governments place in their regulations, and then it builds that trust to be able to know that for anything compliance wise, anything fraud and fraud protection is in place, and then that will be used widely and widespread for especially for the players that will go ahead and move that. And a lot of the countries in APAC, Rapyd has a really, really strong presence in APAC, and if it starts to be used in countries like Indonesia or even Singapore, so many of those different countries start to adopt different payment methods. For example, Indonesia, it's like actually they don't use credit cards a lot, but they do, and that's not credit cards have been, at least in my experience, a bad onboarding gateway to crypto, because it needs to really come from bank accounts to help protect against fraud, to make sure someone does have a bank account legally, and then be able to create that. But then in Singapore it's a little bit different. Maybe it's like wallets, and so if a country starts to adopt crypto, that would be huge. Web 4, Web 4.0 will be. My wife and I were just even talking, I think this morning, and we saw like a random. It was just a random thought that I had, but I think we saw a car with a Disney plate license, and we were like, "Oh, that's interesting." Like, that's I wonder if they park for free at Disneyland. Probably not. But my wife mentioned, she's like, what if like you could have an NFT or like a blockchain token that would allow you to park certain places anywhere for free, like you have that already, and then you can just go ahead and they recognize that you have that. That just like changes the payment structure and payment system of the model of like just parking lots, and so they probably do have apps where you do like pay monthly and certain, but probably not something that's like that's shared with a lot of parking lots. But anyways, good questions and good thoughts, guys. Let me jump to So we did create payment with FX, create checkout page with FX, and I'll just jump to create wallet. Feel free to jump in and ask any more questions if you have them. So here, there's two different options where you could create a personal wallet. Should have had a diagram for this, but basically you have three wallets. A client wallet, which in these payments, again, I said if this, I'm not sure, this may be the client wallet or may not, I'm not sure, but if I deleted this, it'd be totally fine. It would just go to the client wallet itself, and so wherever the payment would end up would go to your client wallet. And so that is the first. Hey, Apurva, welcome. We're just hanging out, just asking some questions. I went through just a brief summary of Rapyd, and now we're just talking about some API calls. If if you have any questions, feel free to post in chat. Ku and Hacknorag have asked some questions. So yeah, that's the client wallet is the main wallet that you may have, and then there is any wallets that you create. One can be a personal wallet for a specific person, and that's what this is, or a company wallet in which if you were to create for a specific business. And so this is a post request, of course, just /user with the base URL. I'm here working in Sandbox. So it's sandboxapi.rapyd.net/v1. And we have basically all their contact information here. We create a contact here, and this will create a contact ID where for actually a business wallet, you can create more than one contact, but for a personal wallet, it will only create one. And so, as I have this, I actually do need to create a specific reference ID for this wallet. I think I already created one with this one. So I'll just change the number here, and then I'll go, invalid email. Let's see. All right, cool. That changed. I believe actually that because someone else had that email. Anyways, I'll just save that for next time. And so yeah, we see that as a success. Here we see it's active, and here's the contact ID that I was talking about for this guy, Samson Smith. And then the wallet ID will be here. So if you wanted to ever grab now a wallet ID, you would be able to grab this. And so here it is, retrieve wallet, and I can retrieve wallet balance. Let's see. So yeah, there's nothing here because we just created it. And so that would just be sitting until we accept it. In production, there would be a identity verification process in creating this wallet, but working in Sandbox for now. Welcome, Pico. We're just hanging out. Feel free to ask any questions. What's the Sandbox URL again? It is sandboxapi.rapyd.net/v1. And so in Postman, we do have that. Set for you already. Let me see if I can jump to, yeah. Oh. And so actually, let me go to the ref. It's in our documentation. So if you ever create a payment, let's see. We jump down to way here. So all of the API calls will show the URL here. So sandbox api.rapyd.net, and then production would be api.rapyd.net. It just get rid of the sandbox. And so what we're going over now is wallet, create wallet. Had just a few inquiries about this having a getting errors, and different people getting errors for that. And so yeah, I can just post that in there. Yeah. And so here we see where we created the wallet. It'd just be /user because the sandbox api.rapyd.net/v1 is in the base URI in the environment here. So it's just sandbox. And then if I wanted to create a company, create a business wallet. Let me just change this here. And again, here's just a business contact for this company that I'm creating. Go ahead and create that, and that's successful here. And then I can add as many contacts as I want for this, who would have kind of rights to the wallet, because it's a company wallet. Yeah, and then it would be contact type business. That's where you would know it's a business wallet, where the other one is contact type or type person. Contact type person, yeah. Cool. Let's actually grab this. So we saw that there was $0 in that, and let's try this. And then I'm just gonna fill out this checkout page, some credit card information. Awesome, and that went through. And then let me grab that. Awesome, and so now we see that there are balance of 400 euros. The call or the same amount or the same API request that we did earlier. So we know the amount will be 400 euros that the client will receive, but the requested currency for here is what the customer is requesting to pay in. So they paid in Mexican pesos, and then the client received the 400. So that is here now, and so they have euros now. If they wanted to receive in Singapore dollar, we could do that as well. Maybe I'll show that for next time. If they wanted to receive USD, they could do that with here, and then so you would see what you would see would be 400 euros, 400 Singapore dollar, 400 USD, all separately within the wallet, and then if they decided, within their own wallet, they could combine it all to one, transfer fees, but there would be one kind of operating fee operating currency that they would have, where the settlements they receive would be in their own local currency wherever the business is operating. But of course, you could use the payouts. You could use. Let me X this. If you were a large business with multiple bank accounts, you could also use Rapyd Disperse to pay out, to different legs of your company, the currency of the choice. So, anyways, that is, that's all that I had for today. Thanks for joining and thanks for watching. If you have any questions, we've just got a couple minutes to close up, but also you could tag me, I believe at Kyle at Rapyd here in the Rapyd Discord, or you could go to community.rapyd.net and also tag me. I'm also at Kyle there. Feel free to join and make a post and share. We love to when you share what you're working on, share what you're thinking about, talking about. Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions. Cool. And would love to help you whatever you're doing on your way. Awesome. Well, thanks again, everyone joining. Thanks, Hacknorag. Thanks, Apurva. Thanks, Ku. Hope to talk to you guys soon.